welcome you to the 2011 swearing-in ceremony of City Council and the Commission of Public Works for the City of Greenville. I'm CAMILLA PITMAN. I'm the City Clerk for the City of Greenville, and we gather here today to administer the oath of office for those who have recently been elected to the offices of Mayor, Council for District 1, Council for District 3, and one of the two at-large seats, and then the Commissioner of Public Works for one of the 3 elected seats. I, PHILLIP KILGORE, do solemnly swear.
I, PHILLIP KILGORE, do solemnly swear.
That I am duly qualified.
That I am duly qualified.
According to the Constitution of this state.
According to the Constitution of this state.
To exercise the duties of the office.
To exercise the duties of this office.
To which I have been elected.
To which I have been elected.
And that I will, to the best of my ability.
And that I will, to the best of my ability.
Discharge the duties thereof.
Discharge the duties thereof.
And preserve, protect, and defend.
And preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of this state and of the United States.
The Constitution of this state and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
As a member of City Council of the City of Greenville.
As a member of City Council of the City of Greenville.
I will equally, fairly, and impartially.
I will equally, fairly, and impartially.
To the best of my ability and skill.
To the best of my ability and skill.
Exercise the trust reposed in me.
Exercise the trust reposed in me.
And I will use my best endeavors.
And I will use my best endeavors.
To preserve the peace.
To preserve the peace.
And carry into effect according to law.
And carry in effect according to law.
The purposes for which I have been elected.
The purposes I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Glad we have Senator RYBERG here. Perhaps he can help us shorten that oath of office in state law. You can work on that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here today. It is such an honor for me to be here tonight again. It is such an honor for all my colleagues to be sworn in, and I am so very proud of all of them. We have a great council. I have to say a word about these folks behind me. It's a little unnerving having them behind me now. I really prefer to defend myself by being up there. But we have a great council. The people of Greenville always bring us great people to serve on our city council. We serve in a nonpartisan way. We don't get involved in pettiness and vote trading. You have to go someplace else for that. We stick to serious business here at the City of Greenville. We have great folks who kind of bring different things to the table. Of those who were sworn in tonight, it's a good example of that. Susan Reynolds, like myself, is a native of Greenville, so she brings such deep roots, her knowledge and deep roots in the community, and a knowledge of retail, which is so important to our burgeoning downtown and throughout the city. So Susan brings that to the council. Jill Littlejohn is our youngest member of council. And I say that because that's very important, too, to have someone who reflects her point of view. Sometimes Jill will talk about something and we don't know what she's talking about. We'll say, Jill, now wait a minute, bring us up to this, and she'll tell us what the folks out there are thinking, or maybe a little younger than us. We appreciate that very much. And she has a great commitment to the neighborhood. And then Amy is a relative newcomer to Greenville. Spent time, in case you didn't know this, in New York City. So she didn't mind telling us how it might have been done there, but not really. But her knowledge of other cities and larger communities is very important to give us some perspective on what we're doing here at the City of Greenville. So everybody plays a different kind of role on this council. I just want to say a few remarks, no long speeches or anything. It's been an interesting year. Something about this year, 2011. We had a lot of visitors this year. I see Nancy over there in her department. It seemed like every time we're turning around, a delegation from Topeka, Kansas was coming to look us over. Birmingham, Alabama, Lexington, Kentucky. The list goes on and on, from Georgia, Tennessee, to see how we've done it in Greenville, which is quite a compliment. It's also a good chance for us to kind of learn why we're different and how we're different from others. And then there were the accolades that you all read about in the paper. Best of this, best of that. Forbes magazine, one of the top 10 downtowns in America. One of the best places to retire. The list went on and on. There was something about this year when it all kind of came together in terms of national recognition. So why is that? Why do folks come here and look at us now? It's kind of a new thing for us. Well, I think to some degree you can see it if you just walk out of this building tonight. Because if you walk out tonight, you'll see in downtown Greenville something you don't see in a lot of cities in this current economic climate. For one thing, you'll see a large crane of a $100 million office project at one end of Main Street. You'll see construction all over downtown from one end to the other. The Peace Center's renovation, to the Hyatt at the other end of the Main Street and their coming renovation, the One Project and so many others. It's been an incredible time of intense redevelopment, if you will, in downtown Greenville in a year where simply most cities aren't seeing that. So you have that on one hand, but then you have something else. And again, it's illustrated so well tonight. You walk out of City Hall and take a right, and you'll see the lights of downtown Greenville on the trees, and people walking on the sidewalk. And you'll see an ice skating rink. If you haven't been down there, check it out. It's a great spectator sport. Folks having a great time of all ages on, of all things in Greenville, South Carolina, the ice. And yet you can see it. So it's the mix of those two things. It's the balance between serious economic development, a city of serious commerce and innovation and business on one hand, and a city that kind of has the balance right, where people are enjoying themselves in our downtown and in our city. So we have a lot of visitors who come here and talk about that, about what they observe when they see our city and why it's different from other places. But of all the people who came through here in the last year or two, I want to tell you about one that you may have missed. His name is Neil Pierce. Now, Neil Pierce is a columnist for the Washington Post, and he's syndicated all over America. I think it'd be fair to say that Neil Pierce is the nation's foremost expert, if you will, on cities. He travels all over America, been in virtually every city in America, writing about cities, what's working, what's not working, and usually bigger cities than ours. And he came to Greenville about 2 years ago, not to see downtown Greenville. He didn't know about downtown. He came to attend a conference of cities and mayors along the Interstate 85 corridor, this great mega region of the United States that we are fortunate to live in. So he came to the conference, and the conference had been called by the mayor of Atlanta, the mayor of Charlotte. We had in attendance the mayor of Gastonia, Raleigh, Birmingham, all meeting in Greenville because it was a convenient place to meet along the interstate to talk about the big issues that all the cities along Interstate 85 face. Cities that have a lot of growth going on, issues of transportation and access to water and those kinds of issues. So he came for that reason, but then while he was here, you know what happened. He discovered Greenville in a different sort of way. And he went back and wrote about it in his nationally syndicated column of 2 years ago. It included, I think this particular article came from the Raleigh newspaper, but it was in, again, papers all over the country, included a picture of Falls Park and the Liberty Bridge and such. And he talked about the conference and the meeting of the mayors and discussion of all these big issues between Atlanta and Charlotte and 85. And then he talked about Greenville. And he said that he had the opportunity, along with the others, to take a walk along Main Street of downtown Greenville. It's lined with distinctive shops and restaurants. And every block there's a sign saying how many more blocks to Falls Park. So what's this Falls Park, he says? It's the site of a stunning 28-foot falls of the Reedy River in the middle of the downtown, a piece of wilderness in the center of town, where the first European settlers set up a trading post in 1768. If the sounds of rushing water weren't enough, there's a breathtaking curved pedestrian suspension bridge, 355 feet long, allowing splendid views of the falls and surrounding gardens. And he went on here, as in the event itself, and said to the other mayors in attendance of all these other cities, you know, this is your model. This is a model of what all cities in the South and in the Southeast and 85 corridor ought to be like. And when the conversation turned that way, of course, I tried to be very modest and couldn't add anything to that. But he went on in the article and noted that at the conference, one of the participants asked an intriguing question to everyone else. The participant said, shouldn't today's cities along I-85 corridor think in terms of making themselves a series of Greenvilles that is workable, livable, distinctive communities with infrastructure and a city with heart, adding quality to the region's bigness. It's an interesting idea, adding quality to the region's bigness, that somehow while you grow, as you do along I-85, whether you want to or not, you stress ever more the importance of quality and quality of life. And he also had the nice idea in this article, then later another article, that he saw in Greenville, and this is a phrase I'll never forget, a city with heart. That it's more than just about the big buildings, it's more than just about hyper-economic development, it's about the quality of living there. And he noticed that, and he wrote about it. And I would just conclude by saying that we all hear this kind of thing when we have out-of-town visitors and people coming to see us. A little note to myself that one newcomer came up to me a couple weeks ago downtown and said, "I just moved here. I intend to make a lot of money here." And this is a real quote. "But Greenville's not only going to feed my pocketbook, it's going to feed my soul." What do you say when someone says something like that to you as you're walking along Main Street in Greenville? But I would suggest if we want to continue to be, as we do, a successful city in the 21st century, we have to continue to strive to make this city, this Greenville, the most beautiful and livable city in America. And I know with this council, and I know with all of you, we can do it. Thank you, and thank you for being here tonight.